yeah, we share the philosophical insights I saw while I was looking, taking example how to set up the forum post and what is a manifesto, what should be in there, etc. for this working group. I looked at it again and then I saw what you what your references are in Gravity, in this working group, like with deeply philosophical references as well, one from Wittgenstein, philosophical investigations. So it's super cool. Yeah, maybe Juan, please say a few words. I don't know if you have met Letizia before, but she's also pretty active on that side.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you, Letty. I would love to hear more from you because this is, I think, the first time that we can talk in a meeting. And yes, as Sebnem said, um, the Gravity Working Group is an initiative to provide alternative dispute resolution within the DAO ecosystem. And the idea basically is to be able to provide an internal management layer where if people have small disputes, can go to certain people in the community to help them manage that dispute so that it doesn't escalate so much, or if the dispute needs to escalate, then these people is able to strategically escalate the dispute, searching for ways to solve it, and providing like a process to integrate disputes or integrate conflict as a possibility in the that can arise from the activities of the organization, because we are having certain coordination and we are having always tasks, and this is normal in all social structures, that conflict is a possibility and that it may arise. So it's good to be able to handle it in a positive and transformative way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
So yeah, hello Juan. That's very great to be able to talk to you like directly in this group. And yes, I needed this kind of maybe introduction of what you were specifically doing in the Graviton and the alternative dispute resolution group. So yeah, I think this is like very interesting, and it has like these correlations with what we are trying to do, like specifically in Omega Group. So yeah, in these kind of social structures, we also need coordination as well. So I hope we can just introduce these kind of structures as well in our working groups.
Very cool. Hello, Septimus. Hello, Livia.
Hello, Livy said.
Hey. Also, yeah, you were also at the how do you call it? The barber? No, that's barber is for the friseur. The time they opened, like I got, my birthday present was how do you call it? A voucher to go cut your hair.
Oh, nice! It looks great. Except I did it myself. I didn't go to the. We're still in the lockdown
Cool.
here.
Cool. Looks good. Also, Zeptimus has new hairstyle. We're comparing hairstyles. Okay. Hello, Tamara. Hi. Hey. We have I think the rest of the group knows each other from last time. maybe we'll have a newcomer. Her name is Lydia, and basically she would take over what Felix was trying to do with, having an anthropological view on this community survey that we're doing. And let me read that out. I don't know. It would be great if she joined, because her background is the following, Juan. This is good for you. She's a peace researcher, currently doing her doctoral thesis in Florence, and she's involved in peace building field and mediation. And yeah, she's interested in the Gravity Working Group, of course, but also with her background as an in anthropological studies, she's doing a research internship, and she would join the community survey. As she says, Alberto and Felix are involved, meaning this survey. And I think with her background, also would be nice addition to check the questions, and if those community surveys become a regular thing, we may do in intervals, for example. I'm sure she can also help. Anyway, so she's looking forward to meet you as well, Juan. and maybe we set up something next week if she cannot join. I tried to explain her how to onboard the text server, but sometimes it's difficult. Good. Anyone wants to share something? Anything? Else I would start with the agenda. And yeah, and there are a few things I want to ask the Experience Working Group leads as well. Good. Let me share my screen. You have the link to the agenda and the documents, everyone, or shall I reshare it? I think it's also in the channel. Good. So basically, yeah, I had a look into the forum posts, and that we have one for ourselves as well, and that was actually a nice exercise to figure out the distinct contents that we have, and it's pretty round actually. I would love to go through that with all of you. The survey, the questions have been added. Letty also had some more inputs I want to go through, but I think it's still best if 2, 3, whoever wants to join, or if you want to go through this right now. But maybe it's better with a working session that we really go and ask. Basically, there have been 2 comments by Letty. Basically, we should have a research goal. Definitely makes sense, and I put 2 things together we can talk through now. And Michael also mentioned, the few questions that we ask, we should have an hypothesis for each. Why are we asking it, and what do we expect to hear, and are we surprised at after end or not? And I think those hypotheses, at least running through them in my head, helped actually to come up with what could be the initiatives of this group when we know the answers of those questions. So we can go through that as well. And then if we have time, there should be also something like a manifesto. It depends. Basically, I looked at, what is the important points, the structure that the working group should have, especially since we're only meeting every 2 weeks, that we are basically in a mode where we are effective in this 1 hour with whatever we say we want to do in this 1 hour. Maybe also how do we start the bi-weekly if we have newcomers, maybe every time or once a month, who knows. but also how do we get to know each other better, potentially with respect to the aim and the goal of this working group. I'm more or less guessing. And maybe we could have something that relates to this crypto economics flower that has different backgrounds, what ethical challenges we encounter in our work as token engineers or aspiring or becoming token engineers. What are the relations to other disciplines? Where do we have difficulties? Or which other disciplines we basically are scared of, or they're just too new or too far away. That type of getting to know each other, especially also when new people come in. And then the other thing is, how do we synchronize, organize our work when we actually have this 1 hour every 2 weeks? What would you propose? We have the community survey, then we want to prepare the workshop at the Crypto Commons that is, midterm. And then in relation to the community survey, also the contents that are of interest to this working group. Initiatives could be, for example, this interface to moral philosophy. What does it mean? Ethical engineering and token engineering. And the other question is also the research goal. How can we preserve and nurture this transdisciplinary community that we are? So these are the points. Does anyone have anything to add or questions?
I think, since you're starting this, it would be super cool if you could do the transparency audit. It would help a lot to synchronize with the transparency of the whole DAO, and mostly to be up to date with the documentation required for the working groups. That'd be super cool, and just that.
Can you also share this in the channel, Septimus? Like we have a structure, what is required per when we meet. Is that?
Yeah, I'll create it. The thing is, we just use the template, but I'll create, and during the call I'll give it the link.
But I posted it on the Omega channel.
Perfect. Okay.
I don't know the template that I have.
Yeah, we also have
audit criteria.
No, that's not updated. That's the old one. I'll just share the link after during the call.
Sorry.
Okay. But roughly, is it this roughly, so that we all have an idea, like manifesto, information availability, roadmap, what are the goals, kind of? Right.
Yeah, I think first step would be to do the manifesto. We had a template, but I think someone wrote on top of the template, so I'll just make a new one, and then we can just fulfill. It's just like a simple list of like what is the goal, milestones of how we're moving.
Okay, cool. And so basically, this is upcoming, and then we can also decide like how much of it is necessary for this group or for the different initiatives this group can bring together, and also like who are the regulars, how we organize, right? The forum post, just quickly, and please, Livia and Tamara, Septimus, and Juan, the experienced steward, like if anything is missing, please don't hesitate and then give the input right here. But yes, so basically this seems to be the rough info that we need. right? Exactly. So meetings, when, where does discussion happen? I added the TE philosophy channel of the community server as well as the Omega channel on Tech Discord, which is bridged anyways. Then the community survey is basically should be also on the forum post. And one thing that came together is actually the feedback. I think it was Yuleti who said, there's also intrinsic motivation to participate in a survey because they wanted to know about these topics. Makes total sense. So I added these two intrinsic motivations: participate to learn about ethics in token engineering or ethics of token engineering, or to learn about, what is this transdisciplinarity in TE. I think that's also something people ask themselves, or people are in that area. And then the slot machine extrinsic reward, get one of the first, I don't know, token engineering commons hats, or something like that we could organize. Yeah, as you see, I'm having fun with the newest insights of behavioral economics, psychology, and decision making. Yes, so if you want to add anything, please don't hesitate to jump in. Then the other topic that should be, or other main point that should be on the forum post is the workshop that is in July. So that's a long term, maybe also that will add people into the discussion at the post. For example, that they could propose a topic that they want to see from this working group or TE community. Researching or exploring that topic. But one we had definitely is the invisible economy, how to protect creative spaces that does apply to science as much as it applies to art. And then this interface to moral philosophy for token engineers is another point. And then basically the initiatives that we could offer. And this is basically, I need to check, but hope that, Juan and Letty are also regulars or almost regulars in TE philosophy, that we maybe think about how we can make this moral philosophy, ethical engineering more practical. A format, I don't know if it can be trained, but a format that draws from this dialogue. We have content there, definitely, that Fabian helped put together. Durgadas is also providing many insightful resources, and I'm sure he'd be also happy to, once we have set up what the initiative could be, happy to contribute with presentation or adding to those dialogues. The second initiative is this transdisciplinary art of token engineering. Basically, in this recent project, again, we get to work with, again, it's super interesting for me at the very least. If we go back to this cryptoeconomics flower, we've been, or I have been, for example, very much involved with modeling simulation when it comes to systems engineering, or all of the tools we have from machine learning, AI optimization. And for me, it was new that algorithmic game theories also have their simulation tools, for example. So I think we do have a lot of insights and experience that we can bring together and basically exchange with token engineers who are interested to learn about it or add from their experience what type of tools are being used, how can there be exchange between the disciplines, find commonalities, find those common languages, tools, processes for token engineering. That could be something we can definitely also offer as an initiative from this group. Yes, and then
I have an idea. Do we have a
Please.
database to research on each of the petals of the flower related to the cryptoeconomic systems? Like
that exactly, like that could be part of that initiative. All we have is this Crypto Economics Foundation's paper, and in there it says, what all of these have in common with respect to crypto economics is about the allocation of resources and coordination, which is a great direction. But then how exactly is what we could put together. Database, because I'm thinking.
I think it would be really good, like to have like key papers on each of the petals, so that we can like research and see the other and have a good document to see the other point of view that we may are not so good at.
Yeah.
I can share some papers. It's a little bit updated, but I have like a library that I made that is related to blockchain and politics. So I will share it in the Omega channel.
Nice. I'm taking note here, and that would be basically this transdisciplinary art of TE, and basically we put together, let me call it DB. It could be a list on the GitHub repository, right? That we put together, or we could also have it in the books. A Hitchhiker's Guide to Token Engineering. There is a chapter like that. We could put it there, but basically bring together literature from each discipline. With focus or overlap, crypto economics, correct? Blockchain, yeah. So this is how we could start for sure.
Yes, can I say something about this? I think it's very interesting, like this approach to have like each discipline being highlighted by an expert or by a person that is very involved in that discipline. And maybe we have to think about the ethos of the working group, and that is something that is going to be, as I understood, being worked in the manifesto. But maybe the goal to do this it can be a lot of processes, like this kind of interviews or a database. And maybe this is like the process of engaging and giving this information out for the people or the people interested. But then we have work around the idea that we are providing like these best practices in ethics, and this is like the underlying direction of the group. Like we are not only providing the information, but we're curating it in a way that is in the ethics discipline. I think this is like the work that is being highlighted in all our research, or I don't know, all the things that we're talking about, and maybe we're like these stewards of ethics in each of the crypto flower coordination, something like that.
Yeah. I also exactly, and that we have it as one petal, but I also put it as extra point, if we say it's research goal, basically what is ethical engineering in token engineering or for token engineers. And if I understand you right, basically you say this should be the lens from which we also curate the information.
Yes.
That the ethical dimension should be always included somehow when we curate information from the disciplines.
That's it. Like, it's not the same if you do it like from the economic or the technical or the engineering point of view, but maybe like it's the this point of light that is guiding us. Like, this is why we are doing this. We are highlighting the ethical implications of these efforts.
Okay. And I'm guessing also through the work curating, as you said, curating this information, we will also see, for example, I don't know, but there is, I don't know if you know, but there is in economics or business administration, Wirtschaftsethik in Germany, ethics of business or ethics of economics. And there are very tiny schools in the middle of nowhere, in Germany. So I think some disciplines are rather ethics poor. And that's also something good to put forward. As I always mention, like programmers and those people who should be actually aware because they get to program values, right? And if we grow up in an environment and be schooled in institutions who didn't put these two things together ever.
Because it's very difficult. Yeah.
And then basically people are really, really new to this type of thinking. And basically this is one of the, if you will, hypothesis, right? That basically this ethical engineering and is, as you said, the ability to look into all of these disciplines wherever you come from, to ask was ethical or ethical decision making or ethical design decisions, whatever, because these are all about resource allocation, right? Was that something I learned about? And in many of these disciplines, the answer will be no. So and then again, when I was putting all of your inputs together, that was basically the hypothesis. I know, like political science, philosophy, law, ethics. When you come from those disciplines, I guess it's a surprise that other people don't have those backgrounds or don't have those ideas. I'm guessing.
Yes, and I think it's kind of a problem in all the academic disciplines. So and this has been highlighted in the beginning of our call, that the problem of coordination. And if you cannot find in a structure something that is underlying all the disciplines in a way that is also agreed upon, it's like you are working in so many different directions that at the end of the day you end up like losing your most guiding point. So but this happens in engineering, and I think it's part of coordination and like having these structures in place or these kind of narratives.
Exactly.
And it's happening across all institutions. Yeah.
And I think this is something we could also have a rough research, but I am guessing this is something really new. That we take care of this transdisciplinarity. We nurture this and then basically highlight the ethical dimension that could be or was in all of those areas, or where it was missing, and how can we close that gap maybe. But cool. So, like, yeah, and I might even put this initiative before, because it is very practical. The other initiative, an interface to moral philosophy for token engineers. Again, it will feed into this ethical dimension or lens from which we view this overlap. Right? And then, yeah, and making that practical is quite difficult in my view. Would you agree, or maybe please, that's basically, I would love to, but it's the very core of it. Like, you don't get to have predefined ideas, or you don't get to be trained in it. In a sense, you get to learn how to generate a philosophy for yourself. No matter whether you're thinking, why am I here on Earth? Or whether you're thinking, why am I here in the token engineering community? So this, yeah, and that's also like the whole Omega point kind of having a direction and having the ability to clearly communicate these things. Engineers get taught how to make trade-offs when it comes to budget and time, maybe safety. And maybe safety, that is where this ethical aspect comes in, but never, I guess, never has it been the case that we have this social layer embedded in the system that we're engineering. So that's definitely something new. Yeah. Okay. Okay, then anything you would like to have seen in this forum post? And let me just show what is a forum post. Is this one? No, sorry. Source credit. This is a proposal. Where do we have the working groups? Sorry.
Oh, it's in a. You can click there TEC to go back to
this one, for example.
There you go.
Yeah. Right. So these are all of the working groups. Have a look as well. And basically, the working group post is an overview where we can add this information material if people want to learn what we're doing, and the initiatives, etc., can be added here. Yeah, it was super helpful, super cleaned and structured. Yeah, and then basically, let me go back to this manifesto. This is one thing.
Yes, please. Sorry, I have a question regarding the manifesto and the audit, how they interacted between each other. So I'm not very familiar with this.
Good question. Me neither.
Yeah,
so, or I haven't.
Maybe, I don't know, Septimus or Juanca, can you expand on this?
Yeah, I can explain.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Libby.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go. Yeah, the idea with the manifesto is like the manifesto is like one of many documents that working group should have to be transparent, and the audit, it helps like to get organized all the documentation. That was I was telling, like if you check the audit, then you see, well, more or less what the documentation you will be required to have a transparent good score. And yeah, that's it's like can be used as a guideline, and yeah, transparency could help to build this, and yeah, glad to help in anything you need.
Okay, cool. Basically sharing all of the information and taking care that the minimum is there, right?
Yeah, I actually sent the new document on the Omega Discord chat.
Mm-hmm. No, 1 second.
Yeah, the manifesto is mostly a place for everyone in the working group to be aligned on what we're doing, and it's kind of a more stable document. So as the agenda keeps changing and we add a lot of things, then the manifesto is like when new people join, they understand what is the goal, where do we meet, what is the and yeah, and then transparency is what Zaptimus was explaining. Just the manifesto is one of the things we look at to keep transparency.
Yeah. So, and with the goal, we can directly input the research goal that we wanted to also define for the community survey. I think, and then basically add the points that we are just discussing in there. And some things I guess are more suitable or fitting, for, I don't know, we have also working groups who have which have really running software as the result, right? And their basically success and failure is quite easy to define, which in our case might not be. But also we have basically goals into roadmap that we can say, okay, we want to at the very least have this workshop in July, have that as a focus, and while preparing that, these two initiatives that are really palpable, like the transdisciplinarity and the ethical dimension, and how can we make that really practical, that becomes an experience in an engineer's token engineer's life. These two initiatives, there it really depends how much of that content or of these insights we're working on anyways. This is how I would try to break it down. And then basically, if we realize that it's too big, or it requires proper research, the outcome also would just be to say, okay, this would be great if we had insights into those. This is how far we got, and basically, and the working group tries and maybe tries to fund the research group around those with people who do have time to bring it to the finish line. I think that part I would like us to, just leave a couple of months even. These are just for meetings that we would have together and see what comes out, and from our daily interactions and also from the community survey, people coming back with those insights and interests. I can imagine that the resources of this working group also grows with the mind share of as a result of the community survey and outreach. Good. So that manifesto would be something I would just start in keywords and share with all of you. And if we have any questions, then we will clarify them. As said, we have all people involved here anyways, and who are, as Septimus said, more than happy to help with questions. Okay, good. Let's see.
I have one idea, or also is a question, and it's like, can we include or relate something of the ethos of the token engineering, or like with the research on DAO to DAO operation? Because like I think like collaboration can be ethical and also unethical. And if we are seeing for the ethos in engineering, we can also search for the ethos that we can have in DAO-to-DAO relations. I don't know. It's like
we can share this document around. That is a pretty neat research document that I think four big names like Curve Labs, Block Science, Token Kitchen, and Prime DAO, right? They produced as part of their common research group on DAO-to-DAO relations. There's another research update. I would share it in the Omega channel, and let's have a look, or that everyone gets to have a look into that. And basically the question is, do questions arise in that research, or are there any insights with respect to ethical token engineering in DAO-to-DAO relations? Or do you have a concrete point where you already found something?
No, I think I was also reading like this Medium post and the research they are doing, and I find it super interesting, and I think it has like a lot of relation with what we are talking about.
Okay.
Can I
I'll check it out.
This, like a second? Yeah, I'm thinking that we are discussing about being this kind of curators of research, and this would fall maybe in one category as well in our curating efforts. So maybe we don't want to be as prescriptive as to say we are just pushing for certain kinds of practices within the field, but we are more in the meta layer of, okay, we are having all these kind of conversations, and this is part of the research. I think it's more operational in kind of the practices in the consensus or in this kind of discipline in our flower as well. So maybe we want to, we will, of course, maybe we will have like some best practices or white papers at the end of the day. But maybe at this point, we are just selecting how we approach this. If we are the curators, maybe we are not auditing everything. So it's kind of a correlation of the progress we are going to do.
Gotcha. But that's actually good. I mean, that would be definitely, that's definitely good literature, and it's definitely about multiple aspects of the of the transdisciplinary works, and we would go or add it. With respect to being prescriptive, the one thing you said right in the beginning, basically the people who see themselves as token engineers, aspiring token engineers, or having an overview what this that the Omega should be, that they who then are really embedded in one of those disciplines at the very least, that those people become the creators of that petal. That makes total sense.
Yeah, that's true. And I see this as well in the management category. So this is happening in the same structure. So there is this kind of trend in academia and in the corporates as well to kind of embed this in the whole organization. So maybe we also need experts in this kind of coordination between the corporates, academics and this world. So I see this happening in that flower as well, in the management discipline. I see correlations between engineering and management in this regard.
Yeah. Again, it's a topic. It's a topic that is not exclusive to token engineering. You're totally right.
Yeah, it's like bigger. So maybe we have to keep that as well in this meta thinking we are trying to keep.
I have a question.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
I'm
just
a little.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, please.
I think I'm a little bit confused, or I don't know, just trying to. It's very like subjective to me. Is it, I don't even know how to put in a question, but are we trying to start like 8 streams of research?
No, this is like these 2 initiatives that we mentioned here. And I think the people like the community survey, and basically we're asking about ethics of token engineering and how it feels working in such a transdisciplinary field. And then basically reaching out to those people with those questions, and basically hoping they participate in the survey because they want to learn more about the ethics of token engineering and about how to work in such a transdisciplinary field, right? And then basically those are the 2 initiatives we could
So
offer,
we're gonna
because yeah.
So are we mapping like who are the people that are in each one of those petals to then reach out to them?
Exactly, like that would be the community survey, right? And then maybe is this roughly clear? So exactly that. I mean, we're reaching out to the community survey. One thing is, looking at this transdisciplinarity, seeing, people working in economics and crypto economics. This one is almost given, right? This polarity here, but then also people from law, working with people who do optimization and try to get common language. So the questions should, the community survey should ask how this transdisciplinary working happens, or if it doesn't happen, and then basically whether, or if they are aware, or if they would say that they are practicing ethical engineering, or do they know at all? Like these 2 research.
So that's great as
goals.
a goal. Can you just put that as our goal? Because I think that explains perfectly like a research goal. And we have our hypothesis as well. I think we are talking about those as well. So yeah, the community survey is trying to first prove that wrong or well in a sense. And that's, I think that's the goal of the first step, at least.
Exactly. So I'm trying to find, here we go. So going back as the last point to the survey questions, as I mentioned, it would be still good that 2 or 3 people who have time sit together in a working session. It didn't work out to put it asynchronously. I saw the comments that have been made, which were really great. Yeah, exactly. Like, let's put this together. And the first thing is like write down your research goal. And actually, we do have them, as I mentioned. How can we enable token engineering ethos to emerge from a diverse background across the globe? This is basically the tagline of the working group. Preserving, fostering transdisciplinarity. Again, I would like to have a working session where these things also get challenged, because maybe this is too prescriptive. Is it? I don't know. And the second part, so how do we enable ethical engineering? Be the I was writing alpha and omega, and then I realized it's a very religious goal of token engineering, or be the ethos, the part of token engineering. So as I was putting this together, I just wanted to actually work it out, because the input is, everything is here. But then I realized if it's just me, cleaning this up into the questions, it might be too, how do you call it, too biased.
Yeah, not too peer to peer. So yeah, we kind of
exactly.
need that. Yes.
So exactly, and then if if 2-3 people would invest maybe 2-3 hours in a session, or twice 2 sessions after this call, that would be the next thing we need to do. And then I also like this helped a lot, with the couple of questions I picked in my head. There are hypotheses. Like I said, I do hypothesize that most of the people coming from, like me, from computer science or programming, don't know ethical engineering. Engineers know ethical engineering. Software engineers don't know ethical engineering. So there will be a really aha moment. And maybe we also discussed last time, Letty, you also said, someone working in law, coming from law background, they might not be working directly with software engineers, right? But that would be actually something you want to establish in token engineering practice. That legal design is part of the system design, right, from the beginning, and not an afterthought. So there are a couple of hypotheses we could put after each question, as Michal mentioned. And basically, this is what I had on the agenda for today, basically saying, survey ready? No, it's not ready. And have this group of people. And if you like, I just don't want to put everyone's time, but we could just set up a time and it would be open, recorded, but we would actually work these out. I don't know, Septimus, are working sessions also recorded?
Can be, yeah, we can do it if it's an interesting one. Normally it depends, but yeah, if it's something you want to share with the community, we can do it definitely.
Yeah, so basically the thing is, we have the research questions, but even the wording, I don't want it to be biased of one person. Scrutinize those 2 questions, but it comes from what we have been exploring the past month. And
what about
we have.
What about we schedule it right now? I'm really excited to see the
Perfect.
survey out.
Cool. Okay. Okay. I'm looking at my calendar, if everyone could do that, or the people who are involved.
Friday.
Michal isn't there, I think. Or did he join? Michal? Let me just look.
What about Friday at 2 p.m. Europe time?
This Friday? I have a session with Jess on the interface to moral philosophy. So it is content, but it's only focused on that one part. Meaning Friday is full, like the whole week is full.
What about next week, same hour than this call?
Monday is Mondays full?
Yeah, Mondays are pretty good for, like, there is not much going on TC, so I think Monday is good as well, but yeah, up to you.
How about same hour?
Yeah, Monday.
Yeah. Okay. 3 p.m. CET. And the funny thing is, I
but
have
that's transparency.
That's transparency.
yeah, I need to look at 4 different calendars.
Yeah, what about
It's like
the time of this
okay,
call,
no
but
problem.
next Wednesday?
3 p.m. CET for next Wednesday.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So this call,
Does it work?
no, bi-weekly, but when I working session. Yeah, for me that works.
Working session. And can we do it earlier? Is 2 p.m. too early? 2 p.m. CET too early for you?
No, it works for me.
Yeah, for me it works as well.
It works
Perfect.
for me.
Okay,
well.
cool. Okay, next week 2 p.m. I don't think it's much, really, but I think we will grapple with wordings, whether bias, it's subjective, etc. But I think we have it together. So one session, and we should be able to send out the survey. Another thing Letty already did is even suggesting the different how do you call it, types of questions, multiple choice, or our options for the survey. So we should be fine. If you look at the few things that I share today or tomorrow, then next week's working session should work out all right.
Yeah, I think we have like all the
Cool.
frameworks done. So it's like kind of ramping up to distribution.
Yeah, exactly. And then also I looked at the people I would ask, etc. There are at least very 10 or 15 involved people from token engineering. I think we will also get good insightful answers, and hoping also that those people will get excited that we're asking those questions and actually come and help out with the content, help out with the curation and so on. So that would be the goal, really, to identify at least one from each of those petals, people who are as excited to contribute to this working group and share with the token engineering community about ethics and transdisciplinarity from that.
Yeah, that's true. Like having one representative from each petal of discipline, that will help us like moving forward, like to convey this transdisciplinary art and how we manage to get that info or content. So yeah, I think it's like evolutionary in a way.
Yeah.
We could also post that on Twitter. We could post the flower and ask people to tag who are like a person from each petal, and then we'll have like a bunch of names.
Yeah, after that, maybe we can do avatars. Like, yeah, I am the, I don't know, like the transparency, or I'm the legal designer, or I am the crypto engineering with ethical. So we can have like this kind of avatars. So in the design for the designers, I am designing like this new persona. Like, yeah. In the petal, so we can populate those with these pictures. Including the badges with Pope, and you say only if you have this specific Pope, we want to hear from you. If not, just no, please shut up.
Okay, I can see how this could go sideways.
yeah, this can go very crazy. Not very ethical at all.
Hey, I have 10 ethical Popes. What I say counts in this round. But that's cool. Okay, very, very good. Thanks for joining and making people laugh. It's always good. And we'll talk. Hey, wait a second, Lydia. Hey, hello. Say hello before we go. I introduced you. You are mute.
Okay. No, sorry.
Perfect.
Because I had some problems to enter the video call.
I thought so.
It took some time to find the right call. So I'm Lydia, and I'm I'm also like a researcher, more with an anthropological background. And so I'm doing like my PhD in Italy, more in the field of international peace research. But I'm also interested in let's say anthropological research, and I'm doing now also like kind of research internship, and I would be interested maybe to get also like I don't know, to work on your project, and I don't know. So I would like also like to ask you if you are kind of open for this kind of anthropological research. You know, and I would be also interested to have more like a participatory approach.
Yeah.
I think it could, like what I was listening now from your, like your conversation, I think it could fit well. But yeah, so just to...
Very, very, very cool. So we're going to have a working session